I'm Drew King. I'm the Vice President of Architectural Illustrations. I've been working here since, 1994. I went to college at Georgia Tech and studied architecture, and I decided to go into business with my dad. He was already doing architectural rendering, so for the first probably 10 to 15 years that I was working at Architectural Illustrations, I was working as a watercolor artist, not doing digital renderings like I do now. After a while, we started noticing that digital renderings were becoming popular. So we wanted to expand our business to offer that. I taught myself how to do 3D modeling, and then I've used various rendering software. But yeah, I'm pretty much just self-taught. Yes, like I said, at Georgia Tech, I was studying architecture, and I knew that I wanted to focus on architectural rendering once I graduated. So I used rendering a lot in my own projects at Georgia Tech when I would present my designs. A lot of people would do models, and I did not like doing models, so it was really beneficial to me to be able to present my designs visually through watercolor painting. Like I said, originally we did watercolors exclusively. A lot of people still really like those, although digital renderings have become kind of the standard these days. So I think that it's a benefit for our customers that we still do offer watercolors, because lots of times people will go to other firms that only offer digital. I compare it to portrait painting, whereas everyone can take a photo with their iPhone, but not everyone can get a portrait painted. If the client is interested in a more artistic interpretation of their project, then they would want to go with watercolor. But then there are times when photorealism is exactly what the client wants. We do offer all kinds of services like bird's eye views, eye levels, interiors, exteriors, 3D walkthroughs. We can do rendered floor plans. So basically anything our client is looking for, we can provide it, even, interactive digital walkthroughs or virtual reality. Well, I think that the choice of whether to go watercolor or digital is usually just a personal choice. Sometimes a client just really likes the way watercolors look, or even our client's client, the architects, the person they're presenting to might prefer watercolors. When we make recommendations, usually if a project is very early on in design, then watercolors would be more well suited to that, because you can be kind of loose and sketchy, whereas with a digital rendering, it's photorealistic. So you kind of have to have everything already completely designed. When we do digital renderings, you have to think about all the different materials have to be picked out, carpets, paints, wall coverings, every single item has to be picked out because it's going to look like a photograph when it's done. Well, I think renderings can be a really important sales tool for architects and real estate professionals, because as the saying goes, a picture is worth 1,000 words. And when you can show someone exactly what the product is going to look like before it's ever built, that's a huge help for selling your idea. Actually, it's even a big help lots of times to the designer themselves. After seeing it in a photorealistic way, they'll decide that they don't like their design that much after all, and will make some changes and get it just right before they present it to their client. So it can be a big help in that way as well. Each project I take on becomes the most important project I'm working on, and it's really special to each architect. And so I don't think I can look back at one particular project and say this is my favorite one. It's like Each time I do a new rendering, I look at it as an opportunity to get better at what I do and, learn. I think that still renderings are still the standard, and I think that they will continue to be really useful, while at the same time new technologies emerging like VR and animations, which have been around for a while but are still not as popular, still renderings. VR is completely immersive and lets you literally feel like you're in the space. And I think as technology progresses and more people have access to VR technology, that will continue to develop and become more popular. Most architecture clients tend to have very specific deadlines and meetings set up that they need their renderings for. And so our goal is to be completely reliable and always meet our deadlines. Our goal is, like you said, to have a servant attitude and to say, yes, if you need something changed, we will keep working on it until it's exactly what you want. I feel like when a client comes to us and says, I have a meeting, next week at this time, can you have this done? And I say, yes, I can do it. I'm gonna 100% make sure that I have it done when I say it's gonna be done. Yeah, so digital rendering technology is advancing all the time, really quickly, especially with the onset of AI and how much that is changing everything right now. I have to really work to keep up with all the latest technology, so I'm constantly trying to learn and look at the latest tools that are available to me, especially with digital renderings. The software just gets updated all the time and releases new features. And so I'm constantly, watching tutorials, just trying to learn the latest techniques that I can utilize to create better renderings. Yeah, there's a different response. I think with hand-painted watercolors, people tend to kind of be more impressed, actually. We get the response lots of times like, wow, you did that all by hand? And I think they're impressed with the talent that it takes to do a hand-painted watercolor rendering, because there aren't that many people who paint by hand these days, especially in the field of architectural illustration. As far as digitals, it's usually just impressive that you can bring the space to life and look so photorealistic, like it's already been built. I guess I would just say not to underestimate how valuable renderings can be to both you and your clients. Valuable in the sense of being able to see your own design and evaluate it, and then valuable to your clients in selling your project and letting them see your design come to life. We came up with this phrase, 1,000 words are worth a picture. When you think about all the work that goes into an architectural project, the architect is presenting and has put blood, sweat, and tears and drawings, and they're presenting, and they've got 1,000 well-placed words in their presentation. Well, those 1,000 words are worth a picture.